Who is this super YouTuber? Is it Paul, the Joy Toy Collector? Andy, the Newcastle United fan? Jamie, the GoBot hater? Alexis, the salesman? Rohan, the man with the plan and the Wall of Fame? Might just be Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers Guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye. Oh, he's so fly, a groovy guy with a beard that just won't stop. When the bots get rough, he's super tough as third party cleans up. Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers Guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye.
Thank you, my friends. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rohan's Corner. And let me start by thanking you all for a wonderful second TFUK con last weekend. Thank you to everyone who stopped by my temporary home, my temporary corner of stall at the show, and also thank you to everyone who purchased something. And I really am looking forward to seeing you all again there next year, and hopefully some more people as well. It was probably the best convention I've ever been to, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, good stuff. This week on Rohan's Corner, I had a couple of ideas. My brother's coming over later today, and I thought, oh, well, maybe it'd be a good opportunity to have a discussion with him. And we shall see if we can get that into the show. He does exist. He is younger than me, but anyway, we grew up together collecting Transformers, and obviously he was born in 87, I was born in 84, so he was thrust straight into it. But yeah, we shall have a chat with him if we can get that recorded on the show. Another thought crossed my mind, and that was, how many of you have purchased and sold Transformers only to then repurchase them? And this is a topic I came up with last year, but on a separate note, I thought, well, yeah, obviously I've covered that. Yes, it happens to me a lot of the time, and actually it's happened to me this week when I bought G1 Double Target Masters, Landfill, and Scoop again, because I've sold all three of them, including Quick Mix last year or the year before. I've lost track now. But anyway, I bought them again because they're cool little figures and they're going to look good with my new customs I got from Nathan Quoke at the Cluttered Desk. But I started thinking about a variation on this topic, which is, how many of you have purchased a whole new figure or an expensive figure just to get a small element from it? And I mean an accessory or something, you know, insignificantly part of the set. So maybe you bought the Hero Born 2-pack just to get the Vector Sigma, or you know, you bought a Titan just to get one specific element of it, like I did with the Fortress Maximus SDCC version. I bought that to have the more sort of accurate body styling on Fortress Maximus, but I already had the original Titan's Return Fortress Maximus, so I preferred the Cerebro's head on the original Titan's Return Fortress Maximus than swap them over. And I know a few other people have done that, like Mr. Andy Ride. But specifically, I was thinking about this big bad boy here, Masterpiece Skyfire, who, you know, generally speaking, I don't collect Masterpiece, but I had to have those minifigures. Those of you who know me, who are on the groups, will have known I've been whining about getting these minifigures forever because I love the minifigures. And I'm going to do a video just dedicated to those minifigures later because they're just so cool and fun, and you can do so much with them, especially with Legends bots. That's another topic for another day. So today I thought, what's better than to do a very quick review of Newage's recent release, which is Red Boy Powerglide. And away we go! Hey, you must be hot stuff, pal, or you wouldn't be sharing the sky with old Powerglide. Okay, so we begin, as always, with the packaging in the traditional Newage mini box style. We've got Powerglide, or Hughes as he's known here on the packaging. Presumably this is in homage to Howard Hughes, the father of aviation, although probably I would have chosen Wright for the Wright brothers. But anyway, we've got the nice little picture of Hughes there. We've got Warrior. I'm not sure I would call him a warrior, but hey ho. alt mode and robot mode on the side here, Mini Warrior, a picture with Astoria here, who is looking her usual self from The Girl Who Loves Powerglide. There she is, Masterpiece version. She doesn't get included, unfortunately, in this figure. We got warning, we got the same thing on the bottom, we got a nice little transformation pic there and there. That's about it for the packaging. Open up the box and we've got Hughes here in the plastic piece. For some reason, Newage always seems to come in a baggie. Where's the bot himself? We'll get him out, and already you can see one of my major concerns, which is this midriff area here, which does not ever want to stay shut. It's just typical Newage for all the Seekers and all the other flying bots that we've had. Maybe not Jetfire. In addition, we get his gun and his face from the episode Hoist Goes to Hollywood, the alien mask, and a flight stand, as well as a full one page of instructions, part coloured. Right, let's take a look at our boy Powerglide, or Hughes then as he's known. A very nice homage to Generation 1 Powerglide, has the lovely cherry red paintwork which blossoms absolutely beautifully, as always from Newage, with the grey plastic for the arms, grey thighs here. The legs have quite a bit of panelling, and the feet have obviously got this kibble on there. Typical Newage, they give you a QC pass little sticker on the side of him. And if we pull him round to the side, we can see not much of a backpack, which is nice. We do get a little bit of exposed screwage there, little heel spurs at the back here, quite a bit of exposed area on the back here, wholly, and metal screws and a little bit of die cast. The top end is generally better than the bottom end, I think. Okay, so and a through the generations review comparison of Hughes or Powerglide with all the other Powerglides that I own, all two others. You can tell I really like this character. We can see that the cherry blossom red of Hughes is way better than the other two incarnations. Generation 1, obviously slightly darker red, obviously much inferior bot mode. The arms are absolutely ridiculous. The legs are just the back end of the jet pulled out, and the head just swivels around so you can see it all the time. Obviously we have a combinable with Powerglide here on the left hand side. He's kind of sporting a more burgundy look with an even darker grey, sandy kind of grey coloured plastic for the arms and thighs, with much more kibble on him in terms of the jet mode. I do much prefer the Newage look, and aesthetic is far more toon accurate, even having a darker mouthpiece than his face and forehead section, which kind of works well. And here's the sidearm marching band view if you wanted that, and a rear end caboose comparison for Alexis. Okay, a robot mode scale comparison today for you. I've got him standing with his Newage brother Beachcomber, and he is a little taller, with Magic Square's Bumblebee still a little taller and more spindly than both. In the background we've got Magic Square's Huffer, and he's taller than Powerglide, which kind of makes sense. Rising Force's Wild Rider is almost double the size of him, probably 1.5 times to be fair. Newage's Galvatron, who is probably double the size of him. Legacy Velocitron Road Rocket, and of course Pangu Toys Omega Supreme. And he does kind of scale with Omega quite nicely. We shall see how he scales in alt mode. Almost there, Spike. Now let's pull out the stops and try a little aerial tig-siggery. Okay, and there we have Powerglide transformed into his alt mode. I would say that the legs are very fiddly. You have to twist them around several times on themselves, and in terms of my major gripes with this figure, it is that the legs are fiddly, and also that there is so much kibble and line panelage and sort of bits and pieces here. You might have seen in my transformation element that both of these propellers popped off. That's the first time that's happened. I would also suggest, in my opinion, that these rear wings here are slightly too high for me. I would have preferred them sort of up to the actual wing clip, and the hinge on there doesn't look particularly nice. But ultimately it's a decent looking alt mode for Powerglide. He does clean up relatively well. There's no landing gear as such. You can't see his head, which is a positive. The cockpit is kind of small, and his telescopic little extension here is small as well. The arms do fold up and out of the way and kind of nicely, so you wouldn't say they're arms, but they do leave a little bit out there, so it's not totally to the imagination. Yeah, it's decent. It's not amazing, it's not terrible. And here we have the alt mode comparison of all three Powerglides. I'd say they've all got something going for them, if I'm honest with you. I think the Generation 1 Powerglide actually tidies up quite nicely. It's clean. The arms are quite nice in the way in which they fold in on themselves. Obviously, he's got visible head syndrome and is a tiny little jet. Not much detailing on him. The Newage Powerglide, obviously, we've just discussed. A little bit of lack of stickers or something on there just to make it pop. And Combiner Wars Powerglide, I like the way in which the head pops out to give you the elongation, and the fact that it hides the head inside the cockpit there. It's the only one with landing gear, and there are some pretty intelligent bits on it, although the arms definitely are not one of them. So yeah, all have something decent to say. Alt mode comparison then with some other Jeticons, is that such a thing? We've got Magic Square's Jetfire, who is massively bigger than Powerglide. We have Armada Starscream from the Legacy line, who is reasonably much bigger. The Generation 2 / Machine Wars / whatever you want to call him, Air Raid figure here from that line, I can't remember. A Micromaster, I can't remember the name of, and of course Mech Fans Toys Astro Train, who's probably about in scale with Powerglide there. Powerglide is Diddy. I mean, Powerglide always was Diddy as a jet, and I suppose he's always going to be when the transformation is coming from that robot mode. So yeah, it's alright. And here he is on the flight scan next to Hangu Toys Omega. You can see he sort of scales in not too badly there. Obviously we don't have a Legends scale Triptychon or anything like that to compare him to just yet, but I suppose I could get out my Devastator Magic Square one and have him fighting up against him. It's a jet! It's a rocket! No! It's Powerglide! Right, final thoughts then on Newage's Diddy Flying Diode. I think he is expensive for $42. There is engineering in here, the paint is decent. It's a reasonable toy. I mean, you know, I compare it with Magic Square, and I prefer the look and aesthetic of Magic Square. The paint is definitely better, and there are some nice touches, but overall it's a decent bot. It's not amazing. Should you go out and get him? I mean, he's the best Legends class Powerglide out there. He's probably the best small or medium size Powerglide out there. There are probably better masterpiece ones out there, but I don't know too much about that. Anywho, thank you for joining me for another week here on Rohan's Corner. I've been the guy in the corner, and I hope to see you again next week. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.